Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event.
European Space Agency, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Wir kriegen dann auch ein Bild, nicht? Ah, erstmal herzlich willkommen.
Oh, a warm welcome to you.
Lieber Alexander, ja, jetzt hat uns gehört. Lieber Alexander Gerst,
dear Alexander Gerst, I'm very happy to be together with, and also the 61 award winners. I'm happy to see you. I want to say that despite the drought, the sunflowers have blossomed nicely. And I've been happy to see the ISS fly by in the Ottomark. And I have some award winners here. So I want to ask you some questions, and I just want to know if you're well. Yeah, dear Madam Chancellor, it's very nice to hear your voice. I am so happy you are together with the award winners and are making this event possible. It's a particular honor to me to be able to speak to you for this wonderful occasion. And I'm happy to hear that every once in a while you look up and watch us. And I'm glad that they left on the light at the Ottomark and that it worked out. And so your question, I'm doing fabulous, and we have a lot of experiments that we've carried out, and it's been a lot of fun, and that we're so happy that we'll be able to send some great results to Earth. And we have a great crew, and if time allows, I hope that they'll be able to peek around and say hello as well.
Super. Ja, wenn Sie uns die vorstellen wollen, unterbrechen Sie einfach.
And anytime you want to introduce them, go ahead. Okay, hello. My name is Adriano Fleck. I was awarded the prize for the most original work. On your second trip, were there any experiments that you enjoyed particularly and that you were able to prepare on Earth? Yes, Adrian, I've carried out many experiments. And I prepared for those on Earth, which is most important. It's difficult to say. We have more than 300 on board here. We have 70 from Europe and several from Germany. Almost 40 experiments from Germany that we're doing here. It's about plasma physics, quantum physics. We explore cancer cells, immune cells. They don't grow like in a petri dish. They grow in a three-dimensional, in 3 dimensions, more like they grow in the actual body. And so this is a better environment in which to test them. And so I'm excited to be in this fabulous laboratory with experiments from all these different nations. And this laboratory is unique and could not exist anywhere on Earth, no matter how much you tried. It could not be duplicated on Earth. They're just fundamental physical processes. For example, items that are commonplace on Earth. So I have this multi-tool here, as you are probably familiar with, and as you open it and turn it, and suddenly it behaves completely differently than it would on Earth. Yes. And there are some secrets that you only discover when you free things from gravity. And if you look at water, if you look at that, and there have been many suggestions from young people on Earth,
dass sich die Dinge einfach anders
things just react differently. And so as a result, we're able to examine them much better. And it just shows that the ISS is indeed a unique lab and most complex machine that man has ever built. And it's very nice that so many nations have been involved, but it's not just that it allows us to do so much scientific stuff, but it's also important that so many nations participate. They have the siblings have discovered that if you inject liquid starch to be able to make better suits for skateboarders to avoid their being severely injured. And, hello.
Yeah.
Next question. Hello, my name is Akane Fukamachi, and I had a chemistry experiment. Do you think the ISS is a gateway to knowledge for life on Earth, or do you think it's a gateway to the future outside of Earth? It's perfectly formulated question. I couldn't say it better myself. And as I said, we do a lot of experiments up here because they're so important for life on Earth. And we cannot do them on Earth. But as you said, a gateway can go either way. So it could be a gateway to the outside, to stars. There's a big black universe all around us, and we, like any people living on an island, we have to look around what dangers are all around us. And that's why we're trying to prepare ourselves to fly to Mars, and that we have an experiment like to Mars, and we're expecting a shipment of stuff that will help us perhaps live to go and explore to Mars. And so the ISS is in a way a test craft, and so we can explore further where the risks are much greater. But the main thing is that we know our environment and that we know what's out there. We have only been so successful because we explored new ways of living, and that continues to expand into space. And so it's only possible with something so special as space travel. And so I'm going to beckon the crew to come inside here. This is
who's a part of my crew. We're all distributed over the ISS. So some of them are here today. We work together every day. Doing lots of experiments. Drew, for example, just assembled a German experiment yesterday here in Columbus, so we're swapping around. Let me introduce the current commander of the ISS, Drew Feustel. With him, Ricky Arnold and Serena Onion Chancellor, just floating in here. Let me give Drew the mic.
Yes, I just wanted to say hello, Ms. Chancellor. It's an honor to have you here today with us on the space station. Thank you for your interest in the work that we're doing. Congratulations to the winners of the research contest, and we wish you all the best and want to say that you should be proud and take pride in the work that Alex is doing on orbit. I look forward in a few weeks to passing over command to him, and we thank you for your interest in our work here today.
Yes, thank you for coming, and we are delighted that you interrupted your work, and I think you have a good cooperation at the ISS, and of course we are looking forward whether Alexander Gerst will be a good commander for you, but I think we can rely on him.
Thank you. I'll send these guys back to their work.
So, good luck with your work.
And now the next question. I'm Leander Hartenbach, and I had won the second prize. You described the Earth as a fragile space for humanity. What would you advise, based on what you've experienced on the ISS, that for us young scientists should be done to protect our planet? Of course, that's a good question. I think Plutarch's human consciousness is not a vessel that has to be filled, but it's a fire that has to be stoked. So I resist giving advice, especially advice. I can see that you have enough ideas, and I couldn't improve on any of those. I consider my responsibility and my advantage that I pass along knowledge that we acquire up here. We have to remember that we only have a planet A, that there's no planet B, and the universe is full of billions, probably billions of planets. And so we have the perspective that gives us the perspective that Earth is something finite in all this infinity. And that has definitely changed my perspective of our planet on which I grew up. It used to be the culture around me. The Earth was everything for me. It filled up 100% of my personal space, and now I realize that it's a very small planet that we have to take care of, and young people understand that's important, and you and children as well. That you understand that whatever I'm doing up here, you'll be able to do, and then more. And then some. We have, you see, we have female and male astronauts. There's no difference whatsoever. And it's important that the new generations know that the possibilities are infinite. And that we have, and that we don't lose the idea that people have, that it's important that people realize they have the possibility to expand their ideas. And that's where I see my chance in opening your perspective, and that you will feel you can develop your creativity. And it's just fantastic to be able to see all that from up here.
Guten Tag, Herr Gerst.
Hello, I'm German Hofbauer. I have flight data. My question to you is, how far do you think we are from developing a self-sufficient spacecraft with which we'll be able to travel for longer distances in space? That's a very good question. Again, that's something that we've been thinking about for a long time. The ISS is far removed from that. We're still in a very low orbit around Earth, and we continue to get our supplies. We're in touch with mission control in real time. And if you go on to Mars, you can't quickly send a supply ship with supplies. So we have to. We are working on a life-sustaining system, and we're working on that. There's a very new era coming in the era of space flight, and I worked on that last year, and it's a big step, and it's a step that's going to be even greater many decades ago than the construction of the ISS, and it's important that we have maybe a lunar station, and that with many different nations. And we're in negotiations to find out what nation contributes what, and we're talking, of course, Germany has already contributed. We're also dealing with the Orion, and it's important that we have capacity in Germany and Europe to contribute to such a project, and that we're part of it and have first-hand view of that. And it's important that it's possible that we will station that will take us to the moon. And in half a day, we travel the distance between the Earth and Moon. And going farther will be a quantum leap for space travel.
Hallo, Herr Gerst. Mein Name
Hello.
ist Felix Röwekamper.
Hello, Herr Gerst. I'm Felix Röwekamper.
Meine Frage ist, Sie haben als Astronaut ja nicht gerade einen alltäglichen Beruf.
As an astronaut, you don't exactly have an everyday profession, and I'd like to know what a career like that looks like and how you prepare for that. I asked myself that question. I'm not really sure how I made it this way. It wasn't my original plan to come here. I noticed in life that you just jump back and forth, and suddenly you're presented with opportunities that you never dared hope for. And I think my trick was I was always curious. I was always interested in natural sciences, and I was goal-oriented and didn't give up. And those were qualities I thought were necessary. But I think the most important thing is going through life with open eyes, that you look for opportunities, that you recognize them, that you don't wait too long or you don't hesitate, that you say, okay, that's something that might be of interest to me, and you go, I'm going to go and try it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to do it without hesitation, to be always ready to explore opportunities. And then then you're well on the way. And it's not always something that you can determine ahead of time. But with like that, you end up being closer to your ideas or to your dreams. And that's what brought me here. But it's important to give all of your dreams a chance, and then one day you might be surprised, as I was, to find myself on the ISS, and here I am, and I don't really know how I got here. I think we only have 2 questions or so. One final question. I want to say goodbye to you in case I don't have another chance. Hello. Hello, Mr. Gerst. I'm Tom Bentley. I did an experiment with tomatoes. How has flight into space and your impressions of Earth as a planet among many, many changed your opinion of human knowledge?
The
thing is, it's something that you get a different perspective of the smallness of Earth and how you realize how important we humans are for the universe. We're not, the universe doesn't really care about us. It's up to us to take care of ourselves and to take care of our Earth. And it's really quite frightening to see how fragile Earth is. We always say that up here, but it's not really just an empty phrase. It's not very easy to protect Earth. And if you think about that we humans have only been traveling in space for 50 years, it's just a tiny moment in time. And we're only at the very beginning. And if you consider that that we've been explorers for millions since as a species, and we're really standing at the beginning of a new age, and it will never be different.
And thank you to the European Space Agency and participants for the great PAO event.